Lamar, thank you for doing this. Hope you've been safe. Since this has started, you played catch with Marquise and Antonio. You've had a tattoo. You've tweeted with the president. Seems like you're trying to make the best of a bad time during these difficult time for everyone.
No, I had actually got my tattoo before that the quarantine and stuff began. But the Hollywood and Antonio Brown stuff, we just try to put in some work. A lot of my fans and stuff, was coming under my picture. It was like, yeah, we want to see working out, stuff like that. So video got out, we was working out, but it was just bad time. We understand all we supposed to be safe and stuff like that, but we just trying to get a little work in, but we know not. So.
Or what have you been able to do? I know you work a lot with Josh Harris. Well, what have you been able to do for preparation and just getting work in?
Just regular, just workout stuff. By myself, I haven't been working with Coach Josh yet, because of the quarantine and stuff like that. But I've been doing like Pilates and stuff like that, just keep myself in shape so I don't fall off of being the player I should be.
Jamison Hensley.
Lamar, you mentioned about Antonio Brown in your workout. That did create a lot of buzz nationally. What's your feelings on Antonio Brown? Do you feel the Ravens should sign him? Have you talked to anybody with the Ravens about potentially signing him?
I'd be happy if they signed him. He's a great player. He doesn't show it, each and every year. He was with the Steelers in the past. But it's not my decision.
Jonas Schaefer.
Hey, Lamar. Could you just take us through the kind of whirlwind experience of that, seeing that Donald Trump quote tweeted you on Saturday?
Oh, yeah. Someone actually texted me about it. They was like, Donald Trump just tweeted you. So I was like, yeah. Got on Twitter, and I seen he was making a statement about, like a pick, me being a great pick, and, my teammate, congratulating me and stuff like that. So I was just like, appreciate that. That would trust me. I've been saying that all year. So I don't know why I got blown up like that.
Ryan Mink.
Hey Lamar, just wondering what you want the Ravens to do in this year's draft.
Say that again. You went low.
What would you like to see the Ravens do in the draft?
Get the guys we need. We need a replacement for Marshall. Marshall was that guy, like, first ballot Hall of Fame, be the guy for him, and whoever else will, come in and help us get us a championship.
Jerry Sandusky.
Lamar, last offseason, you made huge strides in your offseason work. You improved your passing completion percentage dramatically, your efficiency dramatically, your touchdown interception ratio. What were your goals in terms of improving this offseason, and what has been most negatively impacted by isolation for you in those goals?
Just like last year, I want to work on everything, whether it's running, the passing, outbreaking routes, deep passes. I feel like we need to hit a lot more deep passes that we didn't do last year. But we had a lot of production. We was a better team we were than the year before, I feel, just offensively. But the quarantine just slowing down everything right now. I can't get with my guys, to be working on timing our routes and stuff like that. So that's a big part right now.
Thank you.
Childs Walker.
Hey, Lamar, how are you? We've talked to some of your teammates over the last few weeks about whether they're worried about the season maybe being canceled entirely. Is that something that's on your mind at all? And is that particularly difficult given how good you guys were last year and the optimism about this season?
The world needs football. I think we're gonna be playing football this year. So I'm not gonna put that in my mind.
Aaron Kasnitz.
Hey Lamar, thanks for doing this for us. I'm hoping you're having a good off season. Just back to the tweet about Trump. Did you learn anything about the way social media works based on that reaction? Because as you said, it did seem like it kind of blew up.
Yeah, I've been seeing it, but I guess that's the people on social media job. I wasn't making no political, statements, anything like that. But I was just, like I said, just agreeing with what he was saying about me and my team. That's all.
Cliff Brown. All right, we'll move to Luke Jones. All right, Mike Preston, you're up now. All right, let's go back to Cliff Brown.
Yeah, Lamar, as the last year setting the rushing record, you also obviously carried the ball a lot. As your career goes on, would you like to carry the ball more, less, or does it matter, and why?
To be honest, it really don't matter. Long as it's don't help us win the game. But I doubt I'm gonna be carrying the ball a lot, going on further in the future because we got dynamic running backs. We gonna have even more receivers. We got Hollywood. He's gonna be full recover. Mark Andrews, got Nick. So we're gonna be good. We got Willie Snead, Miles. We're gonna be pretty good. I don't think I'll be running a lot. And like I said, we got our great running backs, Justice Hill, Gus, and Mark. So we should be good.
Mark Viviano.
Hey, Lamar. Question for you. Your off season. I mean, you guys had 14 wins. You won the MVP, and I'm just wondering if you've been getting any more endorsement opportunities. If companies have been calling, how you've been handling it? How's your family handling that?
Yeah, people, companies have been calling, but the quarantine has been slowing everything down, and it's been pretty good. We've been handling it pretty well, but it's been holding us back right now. So we haven't been talking to anyone right now.
Garrett Downing.
Hey, Lamar, what do you feel like could be next for you after a season where you win the MVP, you won 14 games, it was such an incredible season. Like, what is the next step for you?
Ain't no telling. Sky's the limit. I just want to be a better player than I was last year. I got to win me a playoff game for anything because I'm tired of that already. And, once I'm tired of something, I got to make it happen. So that's my goal right now. I'm focused on being a better player all around, not just a player, but teammate as well.
Sean Stepner.
Hey, Lamar, thanks for doing this, man. My question revolves back on the draft, the upcoming draft. What will you be doing on draft night? And, you had to wait to the 32nd pick, last pick of the first round. What's your advice to players that have to, patiently wait for their name to be called?
Oh, man, I feel like that everything happened for a reason. At the moment, I was ticked off, like I'm not getting picked. But, as life settled on, and once you in the league and you produce and you got that chip on your shoulder, so you're going to go out there and show people like why you felt felt however you felt at the moment. Just go out there, be you, and, look good while you're sitting down. But back to that night, it was great. It was great. I loved every moment of it. Even from sitting back now, thinking of it, I feel like I'm glad Ravens did me.
And what are you going to be doing during the draft?
During the draft, Jerry Judy invited me to his draft party, so I might show up there.
Pete Gilbert.
Hey, Lamar, I'm curious. So you only doing, you do the Pilates to stay in shape and not working out with other guys. What have you been doing just to even pass the time? As a young guy who so much energy, this must be driving you crazy. And what have you been doing?
Actually, I have energy when it comes to football. Everything else, I'm just kind of laid back. I don't really do too much. I like to chill. So the quarantine not really bothering me at all when it comes to just staying inside.
Bo Smolka.
Hi, Lamar. Thanks again for doing this as well. I'm curious if you have been in touch with players from Louisville, or you said Jerry Jeudy, other players, and any advice you've given to them, given the strange nature of this whole pre-draft process?
No, I really haven't given any guys any advice, really. I feel like everyone is their own man. Once you come out of college, I can't really do anything for them, So I just let them do them. If they come to me for advice, I'll give it to them, but no one came to me about any advice.
Todd Karpovich.
Hi, Lamar. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How much do you think you guys are going to have to change the playbook this year as teams sort of adapt to your offense? Do you think dramatic improvements, or you guys just keep doing what you did last year?
Got to talk to Giro. That's a question for Giro. I don't really know. We haven't been, with each other. We haven't been in contact really, since this thing began. So we'll have to see. Ask Giro that question.
Jerry Coleman.
Lamar?
What's going on?
Lamar, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
How have you been able to balance what you've been talking about? I mean, you win the MVP, and then unfortunately the season ends so quickly during the with the playoffs. How have you been able to balance that?
Oh man, just how I did, after my rookie year, just let it haunt me, but it made me a better player. That's all. That's all you can do.
All right, we'll move to Bill Roden.
Family doing well. Just two questions. Every day we hear of all the people who are, passing away because of the virus. I'm glad your family is doing well. Do you know anybody? Has this touched you? Either friends or family? Have you known anybody who's gotten sick or heaven forbid, passed away?
No, even though you guys see me, on social media out and stuff like that, we pay attention to the stuff we try to stay away from, wash our hands and stuff like that. So my family members know anyone close to me, and nothing really happened with any one of us. No sickness, nothing like that. So no, sir.
Yes, just my second question is there a lot of sports leagues are saying they're going to come back to play, but they're not going to play in front of fans. Just wondering how you think about that, to have, for the first time probably in your entire life, playing football games without, not being in front of fans.
I really don't see that happening. I don't know. I never seen anything like that. I never played football without people watching, so I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be like practice, right?
Yeah, it feel like practice. And not camp practice either, because we have our fans like that camp practice. So it'd be like seasonal practices.
Peter Schmuck.
Lamar, Bill just asked my question, so I'll somebody else. Thanks.
All right, no problem.
Andrew Gillis.
Hey, Lamar, I'm just curious. I know the offseason is so important for rookies coming in. So is there anything that you can do with the rookies that you guys are going to bring in the next week just to bring them along, seeing as, this offseason is probably going to be at least significantly limited?
To be honest, I don't know, because I don't know how it's going to play out, like what's going on right now. So I really didn't put anything in perspective about it, to be honest with you.
Bobby Trossett.
Hey, Lamar, thanks again for being here. When you are doing all this chilling and having all this free time, are you getting into certain documentaries like the Last Dance, Michael Jordan's? And if so, are you kind of drawing motivation from that, not really having grown up with him as your LeBron?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even watch it yet. I didn't watch it. I've been seeing everybody going crazy about it on Twitter. So I have to get into it. I got to watch the NBA The Last Dance. Because I've been seeing it on, coming up on commercials and stuff like that, but I need to go watch it. Then I have the answer for you.
John Feinstein.
Call on me, Patrick. I guess, Lamar, the one question I'd like to ask you is, every time you made the comment this season, not bad for a running back, what was in your mind?
I got to produce the next week. I got to go out there and make another statement. We got to go win the next game. We got to win the Super Bowl. Like that's really on my mind. I don't really care about the,
You were making a statement about playing quarterback, weren't you?
Say it again?
You were making a statement about being a quarterback, weren't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a quarterback.
Cliff Brown.
Yeah, Lamar, last year you came back bigger and stronger than your rookie year. I was wondering, Are you concentrating at all on getting even a little bigger? I know you want to get stronger, probably, but are you wanting to get a little bit bigger than you are now, or do you feel that you're now at the optimum rate you want to be for your career?
I feel I'm pretty good right now. If anything, I just want my mind to grow even more, get in depth with, just learning the ins and out of the game even more, my Tom Brady stuff. So that's all I want to do right now, focus more.
Jimena Lugo.
Buenas tardes. How do you feel about the governor reopening the beaches in Florida?
I don't got no feeling towards it. It don't really matter to me.
And what about, I know you're having a lot of time now with this social distancing. What are you doing with your trophies?
My trophies?
Yes.
They at home right now. They chilling right now. They social distancing too.
Kyle Barber.
Yeah, Lamar, you always talk about how the end goal is to win a championship. Is there a particular reason that's always been your goal from day one? Is that anything specific?
I can't hear nothing.
Kyle, can you ask that again, please?
Hey, yeah, sorry about that. My question for Lamar was the end goal has always been to win a championship. That's almost always your response when anybody asks you your next goal, your next mission. When did the Super Bowl goal happen for you? Was it when you were really young, or when you were drafted into the NFL? Why has that always been your end mission?
Because when I was in youth football, year 2008, that was 2004 was my first one, but I don't really count it. But 2008 was the one when I was playing in this division. Like I felt like it was an aggressive division. I won Super Bowl in that division. Ever since then, that's always been in my mind. And the NFL, the Super Bowl is the biggest thing, like the biggest accomplishment to me, and that's what I want. Because I want people to remember my teammates for being the best in the world at that time. So that's what I want to do.
Kevin Richardson.
Lamar, got a question. When you work with AB this off season, was there any advice that he gave you? I know he plays wide out, but he's played with Ben, and so did he give you any advice on the quarterback position?
No, I didn't actually. We was just working out. We didn't really sit down and talk and stuff like that. We was just get straight to it.
Was there any particular things that you wanted to work on with him?
We were just grinding. That was my first time. My first time meeting him in person, and first time, actually throwing with him.
All right, thanks a lot.
Ken Weinman.
Trump tweet, not to get political at all. I'm just curious, when you said trust to him, you spelled it with two Z's. Last year it was two S's. How do we get trust with two S's to two Z's?
Yeah, because someone tried to sue me for trust. Like no one was using it at first, but as soon as I started using trust, they wanted to make it a big deal. So that's why I just turned my S's into Z's.
You copyright it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Lamar.
No problem.
Matt Stevens.
Hey, Lamar. As a quarterback who's gone through this process, the draft process, how much do you think the coronavirus would have kind of impacted your ability to impress scouts and general managers before the draft and even get ready for your own rookie season after the draft?
Man, probably dramatically, because, they was already saying I was a running back, this and that. So I'd have been fighting bad, like show like I'm a quarterback and stuff like that. So it would have been bad for me, probably.
Garrett Downing.
Hey, Lamar, when you see Mahomes, obviously the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Last year, he's MVP. Then this year, they win the Super Bowl. Obviously, you were MVP this year. Do you feel like any sort of that you could follow a similar path? They had the heartbreak. They had a great regular season 2 years ago.
I love to follow that path right there. MVP in the Super Bowl. I love it. That'd be a great path to follow right now. I hope it happens too.
Ryan Mink.
Hey, Lamar, I know you said you wanted to work on the mental side of the game this offseason. Do you think that that could be any harder if you guys don't have OTAs and all that kind of typical offseason that you would normally have? And how do you plan to go about doing that?
Oh, I said it can, it will, because you're not with your guys, and I feel like, well, me and my teammates was already talking, like, before we left Baltimore January, we was like, we want to get together and watch film and stuff like that together. So I feel like it do like mess things up somewhat.
If anybody else has another question for Lamar, please raise your hand and we'll call on you.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that me, Kirk McEwen?
That's you, Kirk.
Thank you. Lamar, we talked early last season about you being on the cover of Madden. You said you weren't afraid of the curse or anything. An article came out today saying you were the front runner. I'm wondering if you've taken the picture yet. Have they talked to you? Where is that process?
Yeah, they talked to me. I should be on the cover of Madden. Yeah, they should. But yeah, like I said, I'm not worried about a curse. Patrick Mahomes was on the front. He won the MVP, so I would want that curse. I hope that's a curse. And I want it if it is.
So you are,
huh?
You are the cover of Madden 21.
No, I am. Yeah, I am.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that.
Bobby
yeah, it'll be dope.
Bobby Crossett.
Hey, Lamar, I'm just wondering what the offseason has been like in terms of being that you are the reigning MVP. I know you're down in Florida. Has life changed at all significantly?
Yeah, because life's changed, not in Florida, but on social media, if anything. But got the president tweeting, mentioning tweets and stuff like that. So that's where stuff changed that. But other than that, life's still the same for me.
Have you had to like kind of manage it in terms of how much time you're spending with it? Is it too consuming at times?
No, I spend my life how I've been spending. I don't change nothing.
Dave Ginsburg again.
Mark, two questions. The first one, an easy one. Where are you at your house in Florida, or what is that?
I'm at Airbnb.
Okay, in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my other question is after you had that workout with Antonio in Hollywood, some people criticized you for not social distancing. Is that why you stopped it, or you didn't really care about that?
You said again?
I was just, after you had that workout with Antonio in Hollywood, some people mentioned that you weren't practicing social distancing, and I wondered whether that's why you haven't had any further workouts with those guys, or have you?
No, yeah, I've been social distancing.
Bill Roden again.
Say what?
Bill Roden, you're up. All right, we'll go back to Ryan Mink.
Well, Lamar, since the cat's out of the bag on Madden, just your thoughts on it. Has it long been a dream of yours, something you thought about being on the cover?
Yeah, it's always been a dream of mine since I was a little kid, since I first started playing Madden. It's dope. I done had every Madden, so for me to be on the front of it, that's a dream come true. That's an accomplishment for like the kids around here where I'm from, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, pretty dope.
Matthew Stevens.
Lamar, who's some of the guys you're kind of excited to see take a leap this upcoming season?
Everybody on my team. I don't really got no individuals. I want everyone on my team to make huge leaps because I know we know what we want to be, we know what we want to do, and we got the hearts and mindsets to do it.
All right, just a couple more here, and we'll wrap up. Bill Roden, we'll try you again there.
Hey, Lamar Roden again. I just have a question. I'd asked you before about how you would feel about playing without fans, and you said you can't imagine that. I'm just curious, when everybody does get back together, do you see yourself change in behavior? Like, we used to shake hands, we used to hug each other, we used to slap each other. Do you see how is your behavior going to change, like with teammates and hugging and all the stuff we used to do?
No, our teammates, we don't change. There's a brotherhood going on. I already said, I'm going to tell you that every time. Like, my teammates and I, we good. Like, it's brotherhood going on. We don't care about the outside noise because when we out there grinding, when no one's seeing us grinding, we sweating and people tearing up and blood being shedded. We the ones who see this. We the ones who gonna go out there and put it out on the line for each other. No one else will. So we good.
All right, we'll do two more. Bobby Trossett.
I'm all set, thanks.
Okay, and then Ryan Mink.
No, I'm good.
Thanks, Lamar.
Thank you, guys.